Ron Buckton, 18 years at Microsoft, one of the core contributors of the language TypeScript, which actually powers half of the web. This person was laid off midnight. Second example, Justin Moore. He worked at Google for approximately 17 years, and he finds out that he gets an automated email at 3 a.m. that he's logged out of all systems. He was let go. So if legends like these cannot survive, you and me can definitely not. And to be honest, I used to be a FAANG fanboy, but over the last few months, from all the events that are happening in this world, especially in the tech industry because of a variety of reasons, what I've realized is that FAANG stardom is dead. But that's actually the best thing that can happen to your career. Let me show you why. Because in this video, we will discuss how the era of safe tech jobs is gone and what the new playbook is instead to succeed as a professional in the modern world. Hey guys, I'm Anudeep and I work as a software engineer, and on this channel, we discuss topics relating with tech, AI, entrepreneurship and self-improvement. Also, I'm a fan of upfront conclusions, so if you want to skip to any of the topics that I talk about in this video, you can go to them through the timestamps provided. So if any of those things sound interesting, please consider subscribing. Enough of the plug. Let's get started. Even with all this news and awareness, I see a lot of people still grinding LeetCode and preparing for these big tech interviews, and by all means, feel free to do that. I am nobody to tell you what to do, but from what I am observing, the big tech has been laying off these extra people that they hired in the COVID times. Even at the places where the layoffs are not happening, there are massive hiring freezes, and we don't know when they'll start hiring because the leadership is not confident enough to hire more people to work on new interesting projects. And tech job postings are also down. They're not the worst, but they are actually very bad. I have a lot of friends in the industry who have lost jobs. I have a lot of friends who haven't even gotten their first job straight out of university. This is definitely not the best of times to graduate, not the best of times to seek a job. I know that because I've been through the job search process recently, but there's a side angle to this where, there are subset of skills that is booming. Skills like AI engineering, like cybersecurity, AI infra, all these are skills that companies are demanding. Not actually big tech because they already have people, they already have all this set up, but all these new companies and startups that are popping up, they are in need of these skills. There's always a demand and not enough supply. So the point I'm trying to make is that if you're still stuck playing the old game, if you're still stuck grinding DSA and preparing for LeetCode style interviews, what I want you to know is that companies which are hiring right now, which is not big tech, will not be asking you DSA. They'll be asking you about different types of projects that you have built and how you can demonstrate those skills. And there's even a LinkedIn study showing that recruiters are doing skill-based recruiting rather than degree-based. Obviously, having a degree, technical background and all those things help, but they're looking more at the skills that you have, projects that you have made, the skills that you can demonstrate, the skills that you can show as proof of work that you know what you say you know in your resume. Because it is definitely difficult to get a job in this bad job market, but from a recruiter's perspective, it is even more difficult because they are getting a resume which is created by AI, which is similar to every other resume that they have ever seen, and it contains the best of projects. But then they do schedule interview with the hiring manager. The hiring managers are disappointed because people don't know shit, right? Because they have added their resumes and copied their projects and stuff. But as I said, with the right skills and the right amount of projects, you can make golden entry ticket. So the skills that matter are, number one, AI literacy. This does not mean building the next ChatGPT or building AI models or whatever. It is about knowing how to integrate AI into existing software system, into real world applications. Companies are in so much need of people who can develop AI powered features, not AI researchers, not building the actual model itself. Skill number two, AI infra. Now, these are the people who actually build the system and infrastructure on which these AI models run. This is a very booming field because AI is on the rise and people are pumping in money and companies are willing to pay you money if you have those skills, because out of the full 100%, 10 to 15 to 20% is the actual model. The rest of it is just the infrastructure that is supporting the model. Skill number three, cybersecurity. As AI continues to rise, the need for cybersecurity specialists, cybersecurity engineers will keep on rising because we need to make these AI systems secure in the end to prevent the doom, AGI, and the formation of matrix around us. Anyways, coming back to the point, these are the skills that you can learn, and you do not need a computer science degree for this. Like, if you have a background, it's fine. If you do not have a background, it's fine. It is the same as it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You always need the fundamentals. You can get those from a degree, or you can also, learn them from the internet, learn it on yourself, and then, apply those knowledge in form of projects. What has changed though is how you get a job. Because previously, if you had a degree, you had some basic projects, maybe a to-do app, an e-commerce app, whatever, and then you had some basic knowledge of TSA, you could still make an entry into the industry. But But right now, those things do not make the cut. And especially with the big tech not hiring, DSA has taken the backseat, sadly, because I know how important DSA is, how easy it makes my day-to-day life as a software engineer. I initially started preparing for it, cleared these DSA and big tech interview rounds, but that didn't end up happening. My fundamentals got strong and now I'm able to just perform my day-to-day roles on an easy mode. Coming back to the point, if you do want to make an entry into the tech industry, you want to build a lot of projects as opposed to grinding DSA. Projects tailored towards a particular profile that you are targeting. And these projects will serve as a proof of work to show that you know what you say you know in your resume. Talking about resumes, GitHub is your new resume. Your project section is more important than your work history because, people will comment on this video saying, hey, work experience is important and stuff and skills matter secondary. But a lot of you watching this video are freshers who want to come into the industry, who want to make an entry into the tech industry. And so most of you do not already have any work experience, and therefore the type of projects, the quality and the quantity of projects that you make becomes more and more important. I'll give you guys a real example of a friend. He was an engineer at Meta. He got laid off because Meta had maybe 2 to 3 different rounds of layoffs throughout this year. And then within next 2 months, he was working, he picked up the language Rust and he built some monitoring system and he then open sourced it. He was making some noise about it. He was posting about it on Twitter, shit posting as I call it. And then he was, he just made a 2-3 minute demo. He put it on YouTube and he was reaching out to people, showing off his work. Within a couple of months, he was hired by a startup, which paid him 40% more than his Meta salary. Why? Because the hiring manager already knows how that person thinks, how he codes, how he communicates, because all of that is in public. So if you do not know where to start, here is a 30-day playbook for you. Step number 1, identify one problem you're going to solve. Identify one thing that you're going to build, not that generic e-commerce app. For God's sake, if you just Google e-commerce GitHub, literally every other person on this planet has an e-commerce app on GitHub. So please don't do that. Literally search some forums. For God's sake, go to Y Combinator, pick up any of the projects and try to simulate that, try to come up with your own project and then start building it. You don't need any permission from anybody. Start building it, posting about it, start posting about the problem, the solutions, your thinking process. You can post on Medium. It's a blogs platform. You can tweet about that. You can do live coding sessions. What I'm trying to say is while you're building, build in public and then come up with an MVP. Release it, publish that, post it and put the link out there. Get feedback. While you're iterating on the product, include 1 or 2 AI features in each of your projects that will just make your project the superstar of the show. It can even be a very simple thing such as introducing a natural language thing or language conversion or maybe computer vision or whatever. Again, reinvent the wheel. You just have to use the APIs, do some magic, and as soon as you have AI in your app, you make a bunch of these apps. Literally, people will start noticing you. I've seen this work a dozen times. People doing this are getting multiple offers. Because you see, the traditional hiring process is broken. A recruiter takes a look at your resume for 6 seconds, and those 6 seconds are, I think, not enough for them to judge how skilled you are, what sort of projects you have, how you are as a person, as opposed to somebody already has a lot of web presence, who already has all those apps, all of his work hosted somewhere, maybe on GitHub, maybe he has a professional website link and he has linked that in his resume. In case of this person, I've seen hiring managers go and play around with the website or the web app that they have made, and they come to know what type of functionality they have used, because the senior engineer that's going to hire you, he can just tell by the level of your projects how much knowledge you have. That's why having projects out in the open is your unfair advantage. So the people who are just grinding DSA aren't getting jobs because they're grinding for the wrong market, the market that's not even hiring. And the people who are very good at shipping products, who are very good at just making new projects and making something out of nothing, something out of thin air, these people might not even know the basics of DSA. They can't even solve basic medium level questions on LeetCode, but they're really good at making the project, making the product work, and those are the people who are in demand right now. That's why I keep on saying big tech logos are fading and actual skills are taking you forward. So while everybody is panicking about big tech layoffs and these tech companies having hiring freezes, the smart people, the smart engineers, they are creating their own job security. And as I mentioned, the best part is you do not need the permission of your manager to work on a particular project or feature. Take permission from any higher ups to prove any merge request or something. If you are the CEO of this project or the project that you want to make, just start building it. And look, I used to think that the FAANG path was everything. Grind LeetCode, nail these interviews, and then get this beautiful job at this big beautiful campus in which I'm a small cog in a big machine, and the life is chill, and there's job security and the money is good. I have a comfortable life. All those things used to be the dream. But this last 1 year has made me believe that the term job security doesn't coexist with big tech. Because when your career depends on somebody else's decision, when some other company was not able to make the profit, or they just decided to restructure and they just let you go, then that feels like I'm not in control. When I am in control is when my hard work, my effort, and my time and my energy results in me, getting promoted or earning more money, or just having job security. But if all of my inputs doesn't correspond to any of the outputs, then it just doesn't make sense. And that's why people who have the skills to be able to build something out of nothing, those are the ones who have absolute job security. Because even if company X decides to lay them off, they are gonna find a job very quickly, or they can start something of their own. There's a million ways that you can make money on the internet if you have the skills. People are just too afraid to keep working hard. They want to get comfortable. They just want to rest on the laurels of that one interview that they cleared, and that is a recipe for disaster. So the bottom line is, you have more control than you think. Every line of code that you write in public, problems you solve, and the thoughts you share, that is the real job safety nobody can take away from you. That's that. Thank you so much, guys. If you're still here, I really appreciate it, and I really hope that this helped you clear out the anxiety and will help you take the right steps going forward in terms of how you want to approach your career, your skills. So please let me know down in the comments below what helped you out, and if you have any other thoughts. I love reading all of your comments. I might not reply to all, but I do read all of them. With that being said, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.